Baby, look, the only real connection here is Clifford the Rip. Baby, look, the only real connection here is Clifford the Big Red Flag and Joy. And hell, even that's one-sided. I'm tired of y'all down there ready to love. Cue the music. Oh yes, bitches and hoes. I'm back.
I'll drop a player like it's nothing, it ain't working out. Now no debate or for discussion, bitch, I'm walking out. My time is money, I ain't loving, let you toast it out. Flip my weave and walk it out, look how I just bossed it out. Now come on baby, why you bugging, we can't talk it out. I keeps it moving, I ain't tripping, lost another spouse. I'm just a boss, it's in my blood, no I won't scream or shout. Grabbing my keys.
Cause oh yes, bitches and hoes, I'm back. Back with another video. We're here to discuss Ready to Love Season 6, child, whatever. Episode 8, Potomac, girl, whatever. Because this is just too much. So, let me say something about this. Ready to Love, this is becoming very superficial. Nobody really is taking it seriously. I feel like people are just choosing because they don't want to get sent home. It's just like, girl, what are the real vibes around here? Because I don't like it. Anyway, let's get right into the episode. So the episode opens up with the gentleman's lounge. All the guys are there. P.O. somehow in his mind feels like he must be doing something right because he's still there. And I was like, no, they just, something wrong with all of them. Because P.O., you would have been gone the first 2 weeks. The first week for me. But you would have been in my bottom at every elimination. I'm sorry. P.O., I don't know why we've given P.O. this type of platform because I don't know. P.O. just does it for me. And it's not in a good way. Anyway, so Tommy sits down. And it was like, oh, we done dwindled down. Hell, in a minute we gonna be in the car. And I was like, look, as how the budget be working down there at home, yeah, y'all will be in the car real soon. Let's move on. So Tommy sits down and lets them know that basically, you know, they were introduced to the girls as exes last week. This week he wants the women to meet the men's best friends because you know he knows everything about you. All the guys are just like, oh Lord, my friend knows everything about me. Da, 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 da. He looks down at Paul, and Paul's shirt is wrinkled as hell. Now, Paul, you too old for this. You a 40-something-year-old man, and you can't find an iron to iron your shirt, or at least fold it, or put it on the hanger straight out the dryer. Would you just throw it in a drawer or in the closet on the floor? See, when I'm telling y'all, Paul really be doing it to me. But we move on to the next scene. Paul, his friend is Chill Bill. Now, Chill Bill looked like he used to be a gangster back in the late 90s, maybe the mid to late 90s. You know, he had the dicky fit on. Looked like he keep a towel on him because he be sweating because he be outside, you know, drinking a bill, you know, barbecuing and whatnot. But Chill Bill looked like he all right. He looked like he an all right person. He just looked like the hood dude, you know, that everybody know, like, oh, that's Unc. You know, that's what Chill Bill gives me. So he lets him know that Carmen and Dakia are coming. And I'm like, Dakia? Paul, you ain't even been out with her. Okay, whatever. So the first to arrive is Dakia. And Paul feels like, Dakia feels like Paul has been a mystery. So she's there to see how the connection is going to go and what's going on. So Chill Bill lets us know that him and Paul goes back since 5th grade when they used to call him POJ. So now it's not just PO, it's POJ. I'm like, oh Lord. So we find out that POJ, according to Paul, was supposed to be, the J was supposed to be for gigolo, but they was in 5th grade and they didn't know how to spell it and thought it was spelled with a J. So you mean to tell me you've been an idiot your whole life? Bet. That's what I got from it. But yeah, we find out it's POJ, and I'm just like, we do not need to add another letter to that whack-ass name, please. But he asked the kid what she likes about him, and she says, look, I'm pretty, you know, independent outside, but I feel like with Paul, he takes care of me. Like, I can, you know, rest in my femininity when I'm at home, and I felt that. Because at work, I'm a boss-ish type. You feel me? And when I'm with a man, I don't want to be a boss. I want to be delicate. I want to be, you know, I ain't going to use the S word, because we going to get to that later. But you get what I'm saying. I want to feel different in that type of environment. So then, all of a sudden, Carmen arrives. Carmen arrives with her jacket off her shoulders, her glasses in her head. And in my mind, I was like, girl, is it winter, fall, or spring? What is you wearing and what is going on? She still got the blue contacts in her eyes. And I'm just like, I'm with Dakia on this. Didn't Clifton tell you take that dumbass shit out your eyes? Girl, I didn't even know black people still wore contacts for color. Y'all still doing that? I ain't seen that in so long. I remember I used to wear them like when I got out of high school. I used to get the gray ones. Yeah. Damn near went blind wearing that shit. But it's just like, Carmen, whatever. But Carmen pulls up And she was like, oh, the kid. Yeah, the kid does too. So she sits down. Chill Bill tells her that Paul is POJ. And she goes, oh, no. He is Paul. We will address him as Paul. And I'm just like, well, damn, girl, get to know the man before you start bossing them around. But Chill Bill was just like, all right, whatever. So as they sit down, they start talking. And the kid lives a few more little trickles or whatever, but she gets up and leaves. Carmen hollers, oh, finally you got rid of that zero and you're left with a hero. And it's just like, the kid sitting over there wondering where the tension is coming from. And it's just like, y'all doing this for Paul? POJ? I'm confused. But anyway, so it's tension on both sides. And then at this point, I'm like, none of y'all really like the boy. Y'all, it's just a pissing contest between y'all two, if you ask me. But when she leaves, when the kid leaves, Chill Bill tells Carmen she seems like she's a bit controlling, and she is. I mean, come on now, we grown. You is. But she was just like, no, I'm not. Actually, when I'm with Paul, he makes me feel like I could just be me, and rest. Girl, bye. You don't even know Paul like that. Anyway, when she leaves, I'm sorry, Paul asks Chill Bill who he thinks he would choose. Chill Bill says POJ would do better with Carmen, but Paul would do better with the kid. Paul wants to get to know the kid a little more because he feels like they hadn't had a real chance to really make a connection. But it's just like, first of all, as a grown-ass man, Paul, get rid of that POJ bullshit. We are grown. Stop that. Let's move on. We move on to the next scene. Tori and his friend Ash. His real name is Ashley, but they call him Ash. I guess he don't want to sound like a girl. Whatever. But Tori has his friend Ash there. He's letting him know that he's going to meet Sabrina and Ace. But he wants his friend to kind of like really pick out what the hell going on. Because, he again reminds us that, he's a little rocky with Sabrina because he not sure. Look, you still mad that girl kissed that boy? Like, you got to move on, Paul. Not Paul. You got to move on, doggone Tori. Like, we tired of hearing that shit. You got to be a man and move on now. This is getting out of hand. So either way, Sabrina comes in. She has a gift. And she brings him a gift. And he's like, oh, a gift. I didn't expect a gift. He gets in his confessionals and says, see, she's giving me mixed signals. A person wouldn't buy you a gift if they didn't care nothing about you. Child, please. You know how many gifts I done got from men and ain't with them? And found out they ain't give a damn neither? Child, please. And plus, it wasn't nothing but a candle. She went down to the Bath and Body Works, got your little aroma candle to get your little vibes and your little feelings together. It wasn't even that deep, Tori. So Sabrina sits down with his friend Ash, and Ash asked her, Ash basically is real short. Ash is just like, so, what do you like about Tori, And then before she could finish answering the child, he said, well, what the other date? I was like, well, damn. Get a girl a chance to sit down. And even Sabrina was just like, well, I'm here, okay. All of a sudden, Tori pulls out his phone and was like, I don't know where she is. Let me call her. This boy pulls out the phone in front of them. He didn't walk away. Pulls out the phone in front of them to make a call to Ace. Now, Sabrina's sitting here going, see, this is why I don't like this nigga. And in my mind, I'm like, I don't like him neither, girl. Listen, come on now. You got to be a little more tactful than that. I know you got your little mixed feelings. Your feelings hurt because she done went and kissed that dude. But you got to move on now. This is getting out of hand. You going to call Ace in front of her. But the law work in mysterious ways. Because guess what? Ace ain't answering the phone. And see, Sabrina, you better than me. Because as soon as he could pull out that phone and it started ringing, I'd have been like, well, I'll see y'all later. Church finger, let me get up out of here. Ain't about to sit around and wait for you to call another female. Ain't gonna do it. Period, poo. But anyway, Ace ain't answer the phone. Now, Tori and his confessionals again. I don't understand. We had a connection. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's mixed signals. Maybe I'm doing this. Maybe I'm doing that. Paul, you overthinking. You don't really know none of these girls. None of these girls really care about you the way that they're not jumping out off the porch like you are. You got to know that. And at the end of the day, you over there pissed about Sabrina when Ace ain't even show up for your ass. Like, make it make sense. Somebody out there, please make it make sense. So Sabrina ends up leaving, and but before she leaves, she gets in her confessional, and Sabrina basically says that she says that she's been single for 1.5 years and she want to take it slow. Now this doesn't sit well with Tori, because Tori already was like, girl, you just give mixed signals. It's just too much. But when she leaves, Tori basically says, look, she's indecisive. She don't know what the hell she want. And Basically, he feels like he's questioning his connection with Ace. Well, you can't ask Ash who to pick because hell, only one of them showed up. But if you ask me, Tori, you need to just go home. This is not a space for you. I'm sorry. We move to the next scene. Demetrius and his friend Ken. Let me take a deep breath before I start this. Okay. Demetrius got his friend Ken. First of all, I love the chocolateness. I love that. I love that they both know how to wear a suit really well. Because I ain't gonna lie, Ken looked good in his suit. You know, his hair was, done. Like, it was cute. It was a vibe. But this is where I say, Demetrius, you can go sit your ass down somewhere. So Sabrina shows up. Sabrina sits down. He starts asking her. The first question is, what do you bring to the table? Red flag. Y'all, what do I bring to the table? Nigga, what do you bring to the table? I'm going to get through this part, y'all. I'm going to get through it. But he asked her what she bring to the table. She was like, oh, partnership, security. Not security. What she said, you can lean on me, trust me, all this dumb shit that people say, textbook answers. And then he turns around and was like, well, what do you think about being submissive? Because Demetrius likes a woman to be submissive. She gets in her confessional and go, cut, stop, pause, red flag. I ain't submissive, boo. Ain't gonna do it. I've been independent all my life. And she tells them that at the date. Look, I've been independent all my life. I like leading. I can't be submissive. That's really not my thing. And Ken goes, well, that's basically a deal breaker because that's who Demetrius is. This is my thing. I feel like Demetrius went after Sabrina more, and this is about to be controversial, but I don't care. But I feel like he liked her more because her posture and who she is gives off that of a person who's soft-spoken, who's willing to, be submissive because she's light-skinned. Let's just keep it what it is. But at the end of the day, Demetrius, you misread that because that girl said she ready to lead. And I know you ain't going to want her to do that because you just come off like as if you just... oh no, I have to be the leader at all times. She might make more money than you. You ain't nothing but a contractor on base. Quiet as it's kept. I mean, they make good money, but it ain't like that. I'm just saying. But that girl might make more money than you. You might have to let her lead. And he hollers, it's a red flag, but not really enough for me to stop talking to her, but just enough for me to consider it being a red flag. No, Demetrius, you are a red flag. You've been a red flag. You don't have no swag when it comes to your personality. You don't have nothing to offer but that stale face that you be making. Low key, I feel like outside of the suit, you probably look like a damn orangutan or something. Miss me, Demetrius. Go sit down somewhere. Go over there to Kevin Samuels and find you a submissive. Because that's not what we doing over here. It's independent women. They doing their big things. They making major moves. They not about to be submissive to you, contractor. Ain't about to do it. These women got businesses, connections. They traveling. Ain't about to do it with you, contractor. When Sabrina leaves, he asked his friend Ken what he thought about Sabrina. And he basically says, look, I know the submission thing is a thing for you, so you might need to look into that. I'm just like, boy, bye. We move to the next scene. Clifton and his friend Kenny. Clifton, the big red flag, has his friend Kenny to come down there and meet Joy and the kill. Y'all know I don't do Clifton after last week's episode. So Clifton, the big red flag, got his homeboy Kenny, who they look kind of like they similar. You feel me? But Clifton, the big red flag, and I'm going to keep saying that, got his friend Kenny there to meet Joy and Dakia. So Joy shows up first. And Joy is just smitten. She loves the dirty draws. Clifton, the big red flag, well, she don't give a damn if he's King Kong, abusive. She don't give a damn. She don't care. She love him. She love him. So she gets there. She's introduced to his friend Kenny. Kenny likes her vibe. He was like, oh, she seems like a good person. Like y'all little personalities match. The kid walks in, but then he likes the kid as well. The kid sits down and they have a conversation. But before they can move forward, the kid said, since you fed me something I ain't eat last time, she was talking about the oysters. Now I gotta get up and feed you. So she get up and she goes around. I don't know what the hell was on the fork, but she fed it to him. And Joy sitting up there, yeah, he a big man, girl. Go ahead, feed him. He hungry, girl. Stop the cap. You over there mad because you in love with that man. You in love with him. Stop acting fucking crazy. But Clifton brought out the fact that he and Joy had had a connection from the very beginning. Like it was like some type of connection at first sight type of deal. But you know, Joy is sitting up there trying to play coy, like it ain't that, I don't have an issue with the kid. The kid is fine. Yes, you do. It's a competition, girl. Stop acting fucking crazy. It's a competition. So, the kid is Joy is in her confessional saying, see, I hope that the kid sees that it's a real connection over here, and I'm in my mind, I'm like, why would she care that it's a real connection over there? That's between you and her. It's a competition, Joy. Stop it. Joy ends up leaving. She got to go. I don't know why. Maybe it's an experiment to see what the hell Clifton gonna say. But Clifton and Dakia is sitting there, and Kenny and Miss Dakia, the I am a lady, is doing very inappropriate flirting with Clifton, the big red flag, asking can he take some of her punani, talking about the drink that is. She go around there, he give him a taste, and his friend is even uncomfortable, like, oh Lord, let me turn my head. And they laughing and joking back and forth, giving sexual jokes and yada, yada, yada. And I was like, but Dakia, I thought that's why you sent the other dude home, Eric, because you's a lady. And you don't play that. What did I say last week? Oh, okay, I said what I said. Anyway, I'm standing on it. She only wanted Eric to go home. I ain't gonna say he didn't violate her because he did. Allegedly, according to her and him. But what I will say is you accept things from the men you like and the ones you don't like, it becomes different. I'm a woman. I know I've gone through it the same. But I just had to brought that out to kill the lady. But anyway, she gets up and leaves. Clifton, the big red flag, asked his friend who he thought was a better choice. And the friend basically said Joy was more genuine. He felt like the connection with them was more genuine. But the gag is, Clifton, the big red flag, said, yeah, I get it, and I like Joy too, but I'm going to keep my options open. I like the kid. I can't deny the way I feel about the kid. Clifton, the big red flag, sounds like he want a poly relationship, if you ask me. Let's move on. So we move to the next scene. Donovan and his friend. His friend is Phil from last season. You know, he was with, what's that girl name with the curly hair, the cute, bubbly girl? Her name on the tip of my tongue. Shoot. He made a connection with her on the last season. You know they all stay down the street. But apparently him and Donovan have been best friends for like 12 years. And I wouldn't have put them two together, but when they got there, I was like, I see it. I see why y'all could be best friends. So he wants Phil to come in because Phil has the experience. And he wants Phil to come in and check the temperature of these girls and ask the right questions. So now Phil is there to meet Sabrina and Tina. Sabrina and Tina is who Phil is there to meet. So Sabrina arrives first. She sits down and then Tina comes and Sabrina feels like, what the hell Tina doing here? I ain't even know y'all was talking. Girl, we ain't seen Tina since 3 episodes ago. I don't think Tina really talked to nobody. At this point, I just feel like people grasping at straws. And this is what I don't like about love, not love and marriage, Lord. Ready to love. I feel like it's all just, I don't know. It's just not genuine. None of the relationships hardly last. It's just a lot. But anyway, Phil basically straight out the gate said, how many connections y'all got? Like, number-wise. Tina answers first, and Tina says, well, Donnie, he's up here. And I'm like, who the hell is Donnie? Donovan, whatever. But Donnie is up here. He was like, yeah, but I asked you, like, numbers. You can use Roman numerals, Chinese arithmetic, but I asked you numbers, but I'm going to let you slide. Sabrina basically says, look, I like him. I think he's done this type of leapfrog type deal. Like, he's really showed up, and I like that about him. I'm like, okay, so none of you hoes is going to say how many y'all into. Because, Sabrina, you've been on 12 dates, and it ain't but 5 dudes. I'm confused. Anyway, so, where was I going? So, then Phil asked, basically, what did he ask? In between all that, I'm sorry, Tina basically tells the producers it's hard to date because I think Donovan asked her if she wanted to eat and she was just like, nah, I'm good. I'm going to assume that maybe she was on a date prior to that and she had already ate. But Tina was like, girl, look, this is hard. Hard work. Hard work. I know that's right, girl. But after that, Sabrina decides to say that she's getting a vibe that Donovan may not be ready because, he just fresh out of a marriage. But ain't you too? Ain't you fresh out of a marriage? Sabrina, you also brought up the fact that you want more kids. And, you know, Donovan was like, yeah, you know, I would consider that for my wife, but I already have 2 kids. And I'm just like, oh, I get it. But then you turn on the flip side and say, but Tina got a 2-year-old. Come on now, make it up. What you want? You want a woman with kids or don't? Like, you're telling us on one side, you don't know about Sabrina because she want kids and you already got 2. But then on the flip side, this girl already got 1, might not want no more. And you telling me, but she got a 2-year-old. And a business. What do you want? What do you want? I don't think none of y'all know what y'all want. Anyway, they end up leaving. He asked his friend Phil how he likes them too, and Phil says he likes Sabrina's energy. He says, but her answers were just too good. I feel like maybe Sabrina's feeling like she's on a doggone interview. I don't know. And maybe that's how she looks at it, which is why her answers are like that. So, but he basically says, Tina is a good fit. Phil says Tina is a good fit, but she doesn't basically, she's not directive. She's not here saying, I'm here. Like, I'm making a statement. Why should she? We don't know each other. We probably ain't gonna never see each other after this show. Boy, bye. Anyway, so we don't know what the hell going on. But Phil said, why, when he asked Phil who he choose, Phil's like, oh, you trying to get me in trouble. Why would that get you in trouble, Phil? Why? I don't even think Phil made a choice, but he basically told him it's up to you. Let me find out there's some insecurity going over there with the girl you chose. Let's move on. We move to the next scene. Paul takes the kid on a second date. Now, Paul wants to get to know the kid on some personal stuff. He had never had a personal one-on-one date. So they sit down, and basically, the kid was just like, you know, I didn't never give Paul a chance, and I'm seeing another side, so let me see what's going on. The kid asked a really great question. She asked him, tell me something that you've never told anybody else in the process. And this is where we find out that Paul is actually an artist. He paints. And I was just like, Paul, you might not be that bad. I mean, I still don't like you, but you might not be that bad. Like, that's cute. You know, and I felt like he had a softer side with the kid. I feel like the kid know how to talk to these men, though. The kid be getting it out of them. She be getting it out of him, but I don't know what the kid motive is. But she's now looking at Paul a little different because she's like, you know what, he's not that bad. He all right. And I was like, Paul, you might be all right, but I still don't like you. I don't trust you. Anyway, so, Tori finally has his meeting with Ace. Because, you know, Ace ain't answered the phone. Tori said he ain't heard nothing from her since he invited her to the date. So now he's out there to meet with Ace. Ace shows up. I'm like, well, hey, girl, how you doing? Where you been? Pull up a seat. We've been looking for you. Hey, fat. Whatever. But, yeah, Ace finally shows up. And he goes, hey, you didn't call. You didn't say anything. Like, what's going on? And let me say this. Although Tori is annoying, Ace, you could have been a woman about that and made a phone call, or even when he invited you, just say, hey, I don't think I'm going to make it, or maybe it's not a good idea. Or even if you came up with it last minute, send a text, a smoke signal, or something that was down bad. So anyway, Ace sits down and says, look, it's nothing to do with you. You are a great man. And I do think Tori is a good guy. She was like, but I see the way that you look at Sabrina. And that's the way a man should look at his woman. And in my opinion, I just, you know, don't want to get in between that. I want a man to look at me like that. And I was just like, oh, that's cute. But tell the truth, why you really didn't come? So it turns out she felt like Laverne was her real connection. And since he left, she didn't want to just stick around. It didn't make no sense. Well, why you didn't just say that? And you could have left with Laverne. Like, you could have just exit stage left with Laverne. But what I will say is Tori was very, like, you know, he was very mature about it. Tori said, you know what? I want you to stay, and I don't want to be selfish and say you should stay, so I understand. And I was like, okay, Tori. See, Tori, if you wasn't so emotional like Carl Thomas, you'd be all right. And you overthink, Tori. Then my advice to you, Tori, stop overthinking. A lot of this stuff ain't this deep. But I love the way that he handled that. And so they gave a smooch, and she left. And so now we down at the gentleman's lounge. Child, we at this gentleman's lounge, and Tommy starts to ask the guys how their dates were. Well, then Donovan goes, oh, you remember Phil? And Tommy goes, who Phil? And he was like, from last season. And look at Tommy, Phil. Black people, why we put two names together or say the same name twice to say that we know them? Phil. Brandon. Mike, like, come on now. We always do that, but it's something black people just do. So he goes, yeah, you know, Phil from last season. And Tommy was like, oh, okay, how he doing? He's still with the girl? And he says, yeah, he with her. And Tommy was like, see, I'm doing my job. Well, the gag is, Tommy, they said they ain't together right now. Who is together from this doggone thing? Who is still together? I only watched the last season in this one. Please drop down in the comments and let me know if anybody is still together. Because the eyes ain't looking too good. Anyway, so after he reminded him of Phil, he basically, he says his friend likes Sabrina the most. Demetrius says his friend likes Sabrina as well. And Tori basically says that he's not sure. And then he starts to say, Ace didn't show up. And Tommy was like, she didn't show up. And I was like, oh, Tommy, you didn't know? So Tori goes into the whole story of how Ace said she quit. And Tommy was like, well, I know you fucking lying. She didn't tell me. And I'm like, oh, girl, you did a no call, no show. You didn't even tell Tommy? Oh, that's deep. That's big. That's real big. So Tommy is surprised. He was just like, what the hell? And he looks at the other guys and say, hey, y'all, if that should happen to y'all, please let me know. Don't just leave. Yeah, that was tacky. I ain't gonna lie. Girl, you had to do was send the producers a note or something and say, girl, look, I quit. It is what it is. But to leave like that, girl, if I was a job or another TV show, I wouldn't hire your ass. Because now I can't trust that you're going to follow through with the whole process and then be professional about it if you can't. Ace, I'm looking at you sideways. But anyway, so after he says all that, basically, Tori don't know what the hell going on because he's on the fence with Sabrina, and you've been on the fence with Sabrina. At this point, we don't even care. Clifton, the big red flag, says his friend likes Joy, but he can't say nothing bad about Dakia. Now you know all the boys like Dakia too now, so all the boys is looking over there like, what the hell? What you mean Dakia? Paul says his friend likes Dakia, but he feels like POJ would be best for Carmen. Like Tommy said, boy, if you don't find somebody who like both of them damn alter egos and find it and sit down. Anyway, Tori says his friend likes Sabrina, but we already said that, but didn't show up. Tommy asks who they don't like. Tori said he still want to get to know Carmen. Donovan says she's real and he don't want her to change because, you know, they were saying that basically she's kind of like who she is or whatever. But yeah, Donovan says she's real and he don't want her to change. Demetrius said him and the kid never really had a romantic relationship. That's because, you know, the kid not going to take that submissive bullshit and what you bring to the table. Because then she going to start playing Big Bang, take Lil Bang, and you not going to be able to last. That's my opinion. But anyway, Paul says they just had their first date when Demetrius said he don't feel like Dakia and him had a romantic connection. I like that Paul stood up and was just like, hold up, bro. You trying to send my girl home. I like her. I like her. I was like, okay, Paul, you get another, that's your second little kudos I give to you because you stood up like a man and told that other man, don't send my girl home. I like that, Paul. All right. Clifton, the big red flag, says that he tells Paul good luck. And I'm just like, why? Like, what was the shade on that? Tori say he's not feeling Tina. Cliff, the big red flag, says he's not feeling Sabrina. Donovan said he's not feeling Joy because they've never had a date. Well, that's because Joy has put all her eggs in one basket with Clifton, the big red flag. And then Tommy said, look, this is a lot. I didn't even know this girl left and all this stuff. How about this? Do y'all need a little more time? And it was like, yeah, we need a little more time. And I was wondering how that was going to go. Because at the end of the day, like, if she already, like, eliminated herself, how does that work with the numbers? So Tommy goes, I'll give y'all a little more time, but I'm going to give y'all another thing, a little curveball. I'm going to send y'all on a trip. And, you know, just y'all not in the house for just one night. The own people done got enough money and did a GoFundMe, and they gonna get y'all down there for 2 nights. And I was just like, nah, look at God. Won't he do it? He got them down there for 2 nights. You know, with Ready to Love, they typically stay there for the evening, and they gotta go home and spend the night at their own house. But them did a GoFundMe and got it for 2 nights. How much y'all want to bet they don't get on the plane? Now y'all asking for too much. Anyway, that was the end of the episode. Child, look, this episode was cute. It was alright, but it's just so superficial. Nobody gonna believe none of this shit on people. Y'all need to go back to the drawing board and figure this out. Drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode of Ready to Love, cause I'm ready. I'm ready to stop watching this goddamn show. Girl, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you hoes later. Bye.